Right? Like, oh, we got to trim down our guest list to 100 people or whatever it is. They're being more. They're taking a harder tack here in Ohio than they are in other places. 100 people, out in Seattle, which is like ground zero for a lot of it in the U.S. They capped it at 250. Illinois capped it at 1,000. Whoa. Yeah. Still a lot of shows going on back home.
I was going to say, I'm wondering if it's because of the population of those places.
Well, it might be that, but I think Mike DeWine is also trying to be proactive.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's try to... I'll tell you what I like. It makes me really crazy to watch too much coverage, although I want to stay abreast of what's happening when DeWine gives these pressers. But what makes it exciting for me is he's always flanked by that Dr. Amy Acton, who is the head of the Ohio Department of Health. She's a cutie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So
right?
If
she's
someone's
smart.
going to tell you the world's on fire, it should be her.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, she's the one that basically said that there's 100,000 people carrying the virus in Ohio. But she said can't diagnose them.
She said that.
But how do they know if you can't get tested?
Saying.
Well, no, because
that's an estimate.
Because what she said was we're seeing the community spread is about 1%. And she said 1% of Ohio's population is 100,000 people.
Right.
It's only 11 million people in Ohio. So she's like, that's what it's not like they're just extrapolating based on the data they've got so far. A lot of people are still kind of crawling in the dark on this thing. But, a lot of things, and I was talking to Gwen last night too, because I think she was kind of freaking out a little bit. And I go, look, a lot has happened this week. Like, we're in the cancellation phase now, which is big in and of itself. And then we'll go into the people being careful phase or whatever. Yeah,
We're going to be okay, guys. Everyone's going to be fine.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Listen,
just
it's going to be fine.
Smart.
That's what I'm saying. Nothing good ever comes from panic. Do you know what I'm saying?
The disco.
At the Costco.
Yes. Okay. Panic at the Disco is the
Panic at the Costco.
Yeah, no, that's not my favorite band.
I have a lot of friends who have severe anxiety, and I've been talking them down for days.
Understandable.
I'm just like, guys, this is not helping anything.
Yeah.
Like, you flipping out, like, 100,000 people have it, that means I have it, and my kids have it. I'm like, relax.
I have a friend whose wife thought he was being too calm about it. And he's like, what am I supposed to do?
There's nothing you can do.
There's nothing. Yeah, let's just, hey, man.
Take the information, be smart, wash your hands.
Wash your hands, don't touch
Chill.
people.
Just try to relax.
I'll tell you what, it's going to sound crazy. You want to calm yourself down? Watch Fox News. They're pretending like it's all made up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so literally, if you want to calm yourself down, watch Fox News. Everybody over there, they're living in an alternate reality, but for a brief period of time, you can kind of use it as a salve to go, oh, okay. It's going to be fine.
15 new ways to decorate your man cave.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. It's fine, though. But day 72 of the coronavirus crisis. And they said, a little bit of good news, there were only 5 new cases in China. So they're starting to see it taper
decline.
off. Yeah. Now, they went through much more...
What do they call it? Flattening the curve.
The curve.
Yeah.
But they, which was my favorite 80s skateboard movie. I'll tell you what, when I saw Flattening the Curve, I had a giant cherry Coke, and I had a jumbo tub of popcorn, and I loved all those skating movies because I was so bad at skating. I was so bad at skateboarding, and I wanted to be good at it. I had friends that were great at it. My brother was real good. I just didn't have the acumen for it, but I loved... the culture.
You weren't gleaming the cube?
I wasn't gleaming the cube.
Hyping the pipe?
I wasn't flattening the curve. And now I live in a town where they have like a skate park for the kids, and it's laughing at me every day I drive past it. Laughing at me. Ha ha ha.
Why don't you board up and go over there?
Although
Is that what they call it? Board up?
Yeah, board up.
Yeah.
Just board up,
Board
man.
up.
Take the pipe, bruh.
Take the pipe.
Take the pipe.
That is not the...
No, like the half pipe.
vernacular.
That's like the half pipe.
Yeah, the half pipe, but take the pipe is a whole other thing.
That's when you take the top of the pipe. You go there and you dip in or whatever.
If they're saying take the
pipe,
in a few minutes they're going to be giving each other piggyback rides, and then Poundcake's going to be scrolling to the end
filming
of the video.
it for Poundcakes. Hey, let me go to Mike in Strongsville. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Alan, how you doing?
What's up, man?
Hey, so I work for a government agency, okay, and with all this coronavirus going on, obviously everyone's panicking or freaking out, whatever. But we actually our supervisors had to put up a sign that says, do not lick your finger before you punch out at the time clock.
Yeah.
I can't believe you actually have a time clock still.
Yeah, right.
A lot of places have time clocks.
Just have an app.
Cha-chunk. A lot of places
Or
have
digital.
the old school time clock, right, with the card?
Yeah, we swipe our badge, punch in, punch out, and then we have to put our finger on this little screen to verify that it's us.
Yeah.
But there's people that lick their fingers and then put it on there.
Yeah, because they think the screen won't read it if they don't have a wet finger.
Oh.
I guess not.
Come on.
We've got the foremost technology here, and it can only read wet fingers. So make sure you wet your finger.
Yeah.
Well, that's like when we're doing the prize wheel, it's an iPad now, and kids will go up and do it, and they get it on the first try almost every time. But then when older people go up there, they're like, how do I do this thing? And they almost knock the whole thing over. They either push too hard or they don't push hard enough, or they'll do the finger lick.
Yeah.
And whenever I see them do the finger lick, I go, no, licking your finger.
Finger licking bad.
Yeah.
That's
There you
right.
go.
Yeah. All right, well, keep those fingers dry, Mike.
I will.
All right.
Make no promises.
Thank you, pal. Keep them
No
phalanges
promises.
keep them phalanges dusty. Right. Alan, can you guys do a poll on the crumpled versus folded toilet paper debate? And also the stand sit. My mind is still boggled after yesterday's discussion. Well, it was a little off sides, but Mary had to take a break to
I had to go pee.
She had to go and figure out because she couldn't recall if she stood or sat. I think it would be crazy to. Some people were talking about standing to wipe, which I had never heard of before. And then whether you crumple your paper, because all anybody's talking about is toilet paper, frankly. Right. Whether you crumple or fold. I'm a folder.
Crumpler.
You're a crumpler.
Even when you're
Even if I'm at home.
not just when you go pee.
Yeah.
Always a crumpler.
How did you not remember that?
Why would I know that?
I like how you said even when I'm at home, as if you were other places you would do it differently.
When I'm in public, I like to be a little more.
I take as much toilet paper from the office as I can.
Oh, I see. When
But
you're
at
not buying
home,
it.
One
Oh.
square. One little square.
So you're much more judicious at home.
Yes.
You're like, I can't spare a square.
Cannot.
Okay, you take it. You buy one ply and you use a single square.
If that. Sometimes
then
it's
definitely-
just a Q-tip. Sometimes.
Definitely
Ooh,
don't
dab,
lick your
dab.
fingers. Man.
Listen, it's fine. Crumpler, I don't stand. That was what I couldn't recall. Because I'm like, do I stand up to wipe? I feel like I have in the past. I don't know.
But then you were able to confirm,
That I do not.
in fact, she does not. That's right.
Playlists are back today.
Hey!
That function's working
Look
again.
at that!
So I'll have the playlist back.
Bill
up
Squire, everyone. With that person mentioning that their client's wedding was canceled. I don't know if they're a wedding planner or whatever it was. But I did see that ban, by the way, exempts a lot of things. Because DeWine was like, well, you got to respect the First Amendment. You got to respect freedom of religion, whatever. So it's...
When you said first, I was like, right together? Is this the
Yeah.
First Amendment?
So they're
it's
like,
part of it.
they're like,
know.
yeah, they ban gatherings over 100 people, but then there's a lot like churches and synagogues and mosques, and that doesn't
Schools
adhere to the
even.
ban. Weddings and funerals and whatever. I'm like, well, those
my.
are a lot. I guess you feel like you got to do something, but still, if there's a lot of things you have to exempt, then you're going to be kind of back to square one, I guess.
So you have to RSVP for like a funeral now.
Or, I mean, yeah.
Let me
Live
know.
stream it.
Let me know if you're going to the homegoing
Hey
celebration.
guys, we're going live on my Instagram for the funeral today. I mean, what else are you supposed to do?
Guys,
Hashtag fun and funeral.
Yeah. Make sure that you turn your filters off while we're out here, okay? Out here at Shady Pines, final resting place. Yeah, I don't know. So, I thought that they were like, oh, it's because all these concerts are being canceled and all that. That makes sense.
Unnecessary gatherings. Maybe
Yeah, but
that's
what is
it
a
should be.
necessary gathering?
funeral. Girl.
Make unnecessary gatherings. Don't take chances at stand-up shows.
Right.
I think that a funeral is a necessary gathering or a
A
wedding.
necessary gathering.
Nah, it depends
Depending on
who
how
it
much
is.
you like the couple, it
Yeah,
could be.
exactly.
You can wait till the crisis is over, though.
I mean, we're probably skipping the Jamaica wedding.
Really?
There's a good
Yes.
chance that there's people that are rescheduling their weddings and then they will never get married.
Like,
Like-
what if they're people like me who are all into fate and into like a higher being, and they're like, no, dude, this is a sign we're not supposed to get married. Like, this
Or they'll
is
be
their
like, oh, we're gonna reschedule it, and then something happens, they grow apart or something.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
They're like, you know what? I was on the fence about this to begin with, and now that we can't have more than 100 people, I know you're not the man for me.
How terrible.
I know you're not the man for me.
That's what it
you know
would be.
what? All it took for me to have an epiphany was a ban on public gatherings.
Right.
That was it.
Wow.
It's a sign. It's fate. We're not meant to be together.
I think it's a fantastic way. You know,
to
one
get
of
out
the
of paying for an expensive wedding.
well, one of the hardest things to do is to really trim, keep your guest list light. We had 75 people at our wedding.
That's crazy.
Right?
I don't even know how you could do that.
And so I think we sent out we might have sent out 100 invitations, but we ended up with like between 75 and 80 people. But this is how you do it. You know, but we can't invite your Aunt Sally. Got to keep it to 99 people.
Yeah.
What do you want?
If I'm the guy,
That's why
I'm
they
just
really
like,
screwed people by exempting weddings.
like, oh, okay, we're not gonna do the wedding. Then we'll just, if you want to go down to the courthouse, we'll do that. Or no wedding at all. No marriage.
No marriage. People
Yeah.
are definitely using it as a way out. I'm telling you that.
But again, that would also include, I mean, I know that they're proactively canceling political rallies, but under these circumstances, you wouldn't have to. You
Yeah.
go, I'm going to have a rally, and it's exempt because it's free speech.
Oh,
Like everything
yeah.
falls under the umbrella of free speech, technically. I don't know.
Who knows?
But this is to your point, it's a great way to wiggle your way or at least kick the can down the road on that wedding.
Yeah.
Unless both of you are way into it and then, mazel tov. But
You know what, though? I'm not kidding. I think that these kinds of times make people question stuff. Like,
Oh,
if
absolutely.
they're sitting
That's
in
what
a
I'm-
relationship where they're not happy and they're like, dude, if I'm going to catch this thing and I'm going to die, you're not the person I want to be with when that happens.
Really?
I really do.
They haven't thought about that by the time they're getting married?
Or they have, but they've put it in the back of their mind where it's just like, no, he has good money or we have a kid together or whatever it might be. They're putting it back. But then when you get to like these crisis moments and they're freaking out about the rest of their life or if they're going to die, and you look at the person, you're like, man, you are really not who I love.
Well, they say it about leaders, right? But it's true of everyone that crisis reveals character, right? A current leader has 0. But to your point where there's people going, oh, I don't know. I would think that you would have considered that before you go, yes, I want to marry you.
There's someone that
Because it's in sickness and health. It's like one of the first couple of things you say
Yeah, but
if you go the traditional route.
I mean, as someone who ignored a lot of things in saying yes, that I feel like a lot of people do that. You say yes, you're in the moment, you love that person, and then you think about it, and you're like, I wonder why I can't pull the trigger on flowers. Oh, probably because you don't want to get married.
Yeah, time served also has a lot to do with that. Where if you've been in a relationship for a while,
No, right? I was thinking like prison.
Time
yeah, no, but I'm
served.
serious. Like if you've been in a relationship for 2 years and you feel like it's time to make that next step, you're doing it just because a lot of people do it just because like, well, it was either marry him or start all over, and I didn't feel like starting all over,
Right.
and so they'll get married and then they'll get divorced 3 years later and be like, I knew I didn't want to marry him. I just felt like I had to.
It was time. A lot of
Yeah.
people say that,
Yeah.
oh, well, we dated for 2 years, and we lived together for a year and a half, then we got engaged, and this is just how it works,
But what somebody points out, weddings and funerals of all things should be banned because people come from other places and then go back.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I don't know.
I just use discretion. I mean,
Well, okay, does crying prevent the spread of coronavirus?
Crying?
So if you're at the funeral
I
and
don't
you're
think so.
crying, are you still contagious?
I think so. Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
I cry so much, I might be.
At
Just don't be
funerals or
rude.
in
Everywhere.
general?
yeah, it's one thing to get married. Like you can call off your wedding, but just don't die. Just have some common courtesy during
Yeah.
these times, and just don't die.
Or how about this? Let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's combine them.
How big
Just
is the
make
stone?
make sure that one person dies at every wedding, and then you
Or
have a
2
funeral.
people get married at every funeral.
There you go. Man, that might be a little bit more humane.
I think so.
Yeah, 2 people get married at every
We're
funeral.
gonna double this up.
There's your new reality show. Once Love Is Blind wraps up,
Oh, it's all wrapped
Love
up.
Is Not Dead is what the new show is called, and it's people that meet at funerals.
Love is
and get
not
married.
dead, but Mike is.
That's right. Parentheses, but Mike is. So long, Mike. We barely knew you. So when they say the "until death do us part," they
Our
haven't
death,
thought.
not Mike.
They should
haven't thought
already
that through?
They should have already changed that.
Till death do us part.
We know
Yeah.
contract till our
I
contract
know.
is up.
Well, not even until our contract is up. It'd be like, hopefully for a while, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Until my heart changes.
Yeah.
One day at a
see.
time.
Yeah.
Right, but that's-
Yeah, it's
One
like
day at a time,
sobriety,
yeah.
one day at a time.
But that's the pragmatic part. Nobody goes into these being pragmatic. They go into them being optimistic.
Correct.
I will love you forever. And some people pull it off. Some people make it, a lot of people make it work, right? Because it morphs and changes as you get older. As your time served gets greater, when you have more time in your rearview mirror than in front of you, there's different priorities.
Yeah, but some people get to that later part of their life and they go, man, I haven't been happy in a long time. I'm done with this person. I want to enjoy my life while I still can.
Everyone's like, I'm seeing jokes on Twitter and comedians are making it. They're like, oh, would be nice to be in a relationship right now, going into quarantine all lonely. I'm like, man, this is the best time to be by yourself, I feel like. Like if you're teetering on a relationship or you're in a new one and then now you can't go anywhere, you're going to find out real quick if you like that person. If they're the only person you're talking to for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we live together and I can't go to work and we're here in this stupid house.
It's like older couples. They go, what's the secret to a long marriage? And they're like, separate vacations.
Right.
Yeah.
Separate houses.
Now,
What happened to you?
Me? What are you talking about?
A lot of people, by the way, are asking me if the Corona cruise is canceled, right?
It's in August.
It is in August. That's 5 months away. So, no. I would like it very much by that time for us to be on the other side of whatever and for it to be a big middle finger to this whole fiasco, right? But again, happens in August traditionally.
And if we have
We've got plenty of time.
we'll just limit it to under 100.
99. Those
Yeah.
spots are already coveted.
Yeah.
We'll see them on Craigslist. $28,000 spot on the cruise.
All right. 99 tickets and a bitch got one. Who wants to buy it? Hey, Steve.
Hey, Alan. So I'll be quick. And I had a list of specific examples, but I'm driving and I can't find it.
Oh.
But my question was, you've known Poundcake for quite some time now, and I listen to the show every day and love you guys.
Thank you.
But his sense of reality sometimes is very warped. Like one specific example I gave him, like he thinks all these celebrities have black ops security guards on standby and speed dial. And they're taking these lavish flights all the time, and unlimited resources. Well, I mean, where does he get that logic or that point of view?
Poundcake, where do you get that logic or that point of view?
I didn't hear a lot of what he said because I was on the phone.
He said that your sense of reality, he thinks, is a little twisted when it comes to celebrities. You think that they all have black ops security teams available at a moment's notice and that they're all, kind of jet-setting nonstop all the time. And
Yeah, I
guess
probably
he's
watch too much TV. Sure.
watch too much television.
Sure.
Well, you watch a specific kind of television, too.
I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, E! True Hollywood Story, whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, he exposes himself primarily, Steve, to pop culture that kind of amplifies that perception.
The few celebrities that I've met, Nick Jonas came here and he had the SWAT team outside. So what do you expect me to think?
It was probably his record label rep and his manager and his tour
homie.
manager.
Nah, they came specifically on a day where no one else was in the station except for the people that knew he was going to be here. And if Java Joe hadn't told
He was
me,
in town that day, though.
but I'm talking, he wasn't going to come to the station. That was like one of the biggest stars we've had in this station in a long time.
I understand that, but I was there as well, and I don't remember anything other than him.
Of course you don't.
I didn't even know he was here,
I was looking
and
outside.
I was here and didn't know that the guy was in the building. So it's
Just my take. It's my fantasy. Let me live my life.
yeah, it's aspirational.
Might be all I have.
Alan, they're predicting a rise in domestic violence because of quarantine situations.
Oh,
I believe it.
violence in general is going to go up.
Yeah.
Not just domestic. There's going to be a lot more violent crimes as people are...
Someone got stabbed over paper towels.
If people
People are
are
panicking.
wanting
This is
for
what I'm
money
talking
too,
about.
like people are going to be losing jobs and be losing a lot of income.
Yeah.
And so look for things like muggings to go up.
I worry about those things way more than the actual virus itself.
Yeah, it's because people are losing their mind about it.
Individuals are okay. People are stupid and panicky. And those are the kind of things that make me nervous.
I mean, it's so many people.
But whatever.
So many people are losing. It's not just. I got into an argument last night with a buddy of mine who makes six figures.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is irresponsible for comedy shows to go on. This is that. Why can't the places just pay bartenders and servers paid leave? And I was like, you have always had a good job. You've never worked in service industry.
It's a white-collar gig, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, we don't. My sister got 4 weeks for maternity leave. What makes you think that a bar down the street is going to give their servers paid time off? Like, just people are blow my mind with that kind of stuff.
They're not going to give them what they were going to make in tips. They're going to give them their wage,
which is $4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will pay you $4 an hour.
It's not
You're
safe.
welcome.
It's not. I'm like, yeah, well, guess what? A gas station attendant can't work from home, man. So it's either feed your kids or what? Just stay at home and don't make any money?
Yeah.
People
Feed your kids, feed your wife. All right, I got a break. Tool is still planning on they canceled tonight's show in Oregon, but they're kind of going day by day. They are still planning that Toledo date, though, May the 4th.